Dear Family is a podcast hosted by Rachel Steinman, a writer, an educator, and a mental health advocate. And Rachel gets us up close and personal, so we feel a strong connection, familiarity, and comfort with her guests. So settle in and join us as we search for true healing and journey with Rachel and her most interesting guests.
Hello everyone, this is Rachel Steinman, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I am going to read you an essay that I first published back in August of 2018 on Medium, the first time I ever shared any of my writing publicly. And it's about a family pet, and after all, this is a podcast about family, and I think dogs are some of the best therapists around. So please enjoy A Furry Master Teacher. I used to think dog people were a little crazy. What kind of person has a bumper sticker announcing they're the proud owner of a Shih Tzu? And do you really need a paw print tattoo to prove canine devotion? We can all agree puppies are adorable, but what about their owners who talk too much about their pets? I never wanted to be that person, someone who organized their life or a vacation or even a day around their dog. So when my husband showed me a picture of a black Tibetan Terrier, a little puppy he bought as a surprise birthday gift for me, I questioned out loud, really? We were newly married and about to turn 30. I wasn't thinking about puppies, I was thinking about babies. I just found out I was pregnant for the first time, which meant that a lifelong dream of becoming a mother was just one step closer. Noting my uncertainty, Todd turned his attention back to the image on his computer monitor. He pointed to a small black fur ball. The low-definition photo of a purebred litter born somewhere in Arizona weeks earlier was difficult to make out. Todd found this little hypoallergenic breed online in 2001 when shopping on the World Wide Web was still a novelty. Todd was never one to rush into decisions. He combed the facts, whether it was buying a desk or investing in an annuity or finding the perfect hole in the wall to drive 45 minutes to for worthy tacos. Always in hindsight, I'd admit he proved to be right, his patience paying off. Todd said we'd pick our puppy up in a few weeks when he was old enough to make the drive to Los Angeles. I looked into Todd's bright eyes, so full of excitement for his future, quote, man's best friend, and I considered if it was too late to return my gift. Earrings would have been so much easier. My reaction to the surprise birthday present was not what Todd expected, but I'd been totally taken off guard. How would I find enough love in my heart for a dog when my love was already promised to my baby? I took a deep breath and I rubbed my belly. I sighed thinking about walking up and down the 3 flights of stairs outside our leveled hillside to get down to the patch of our little area of grass. I pictured my huge belly blocking my view as I stepped into dog poop. I leaned forward to consider the blurry black fur blob on the screen. I never imagined our family dog would become the ultimate master teacher, the best birthday present I could have ever wished for. I'd never heard of a Tibetan Terrier. They looked like miniature sheepdogs. Their breed was raised in Tibetan monasteries for the last 2,000 years. The holy dog of Tibet was never sold, but rather given to someone who'd done the lamas a favor. They became known as luck bringers because they were given to a person about to embark on a dangerous journey or caravan. The present Dalai Lama took his pal Sangye with him when he was forced to leave Tibet. The traveler's safety was ensued as no one would harm anyone fortunate enough to have been given a Tibetan Terrier. I became a student of yoga in my early 20s. With a family history of severe mental illness, I knew anxiety and depression could creep into my life at any moment. I felt fortunate to learn the value of Buddhist teachings, of overcoming suffering through meditation at a time when I could have easily spiraled downward. Yogis, skilled master teachers, guided me through vinyasas, helping me reap the body and mind benefits of the practice. When I suggested we name our dog Yogi, Todd agreed it would be perfect. On a workday evening in early spring, we exited a freeway off-ramp in Northridge. I felt nauseous in the passenger seat, uncertain if my upset stomach was from pregnancy or from uncertainty about how my life was about to change. I wanted to be excited, but I was tired at the end of a long day of teaching first grade and from my body supporting a growing fetus. How would I take care of a small animal? The poor little thing was just taken away from his mother. Todd pulled up to a nondescript mini mall. We walked into a store, which could have been a postal supply store, because I remember boxes on the floor. But I was too distracted by a woman holding out our puppy. She handed him to me with a huge knowing smile. "Oh," I crooned, an odd high-pitched noise escaping me. I kissed Yogi's little face, pulling him into my chest. His jet black eyes looked up at me, and he licked my salty tears. I was surprised by my emotions, likely heightened by the hormones pulsing through my veins. I giggled as I rubbed his adorable furry white belly. Todd drove home slower than normal as I cradled our fur baby in my arms, promising to love him forever. While I read What to Expect When You're Expecting, Todd read The Art of Raising a Puppy by the Monks of New Skeet. We signed up for group puppy training classes, and seeing how pregnant I was and how intelligent yet mischievous Yogi could be, the trainer recommended we not let our dog sleep on our bed or jump on our couch. Our dog needed to know his place with a new baby about to be introduced into the home. I worried when Yogi chewed through a stuffed animal meant for the baby. Following the trainer's advice, Todd brought home a hospital blanket that our perfect baby girl Amber had been wrapped in. As I lay in my hospital bed, nursing my infant, I imagined Yogi wagging his curly black tail as he sniffed the newborn scent of his future best friend. Sleep deprived as all new mothers are, I tried to not hold a grudge against our growing puppy, who always seemed to need me. When he chewed through the wooden legs of our dining room chairs or threw up the pizza he'd managed to steal, I tried to not scowl. I tried to not snap when Yogi kept having potty training accidents on the carpet because I hadn't taken him outside in time. My patience often lacked as Yogi demanded my attention, wanting to play with a ball or go on a walk. Yogi's needs were put on the back burner while Amber's needs were met. When Amber rolled over, sat up, crawled, or learned to walk, Yogi was always by her side, a companion like no other. Amber's first word after Dada and Mama was Yogi. At 1.5, she walked up to the bigger kids at Studio City's Beeman Park and said, "Yogi," her conversation starter. Amber grinned back from immense pride that she felt about her very good boy. Just as Amber began stringing complex sentences together, Yogi was given another sister. With his wild puppy days behind him, he sat watch under Molly's bassinet. As the saying goes, the days with young children, and I suppose dogs, feel long, but the years go by quick. And before many of the mac and cheese and broccoli for something green dinners, followed by baths and story time, Amber and Molly rummaged through their dress-up chest. We decided Yogi liked wearing the funny hats and wigs, glasses and costumes, as he became the star of Amber and Molly's plays. Countless photos and videos were taken of our sweet and patient boy, dressed like a pirate or a princess. Yogi, in a string of pearls, a cape, or butterfly wings, became the perfect hero or villain in their creative productions. And although we never did let Yogi sleep in our beds, he had beds throughout the house. When Yogi wasn't on his huge Costco bed in Amber's room or his smaller black bed in our living room, the gold velvet high-armed chair or our large sage couch became his resting spots. I signed all my letters, holiday, and birthday cards by including Yogi, a full-fledged member of the Steinman family. When our return address changed to a new house with a flat backyard next to a park, Yogi explored his new surroundings, a mellow 8-year-old dog settling in. Molly began voice lessons, accompanying herself on piano. Yogi howled from the other room. I laughed, loving his attempt to harmonize and sing with his human sister. Anytime Amber went outside to shoot hoops, Yogi would watch her from his grass perch, her biggest fan. During weekends and the dog days of summer, Amber and Yogi slept in, glued to each other's sides, while Amber read Harry Potter, eventually discovering YouTube and Netflix. And when the girls went back to school, Yogi slept by my desk. Anytime I looked up from my screen, there was Yogi, laying by my feet. When I read my writing out loud to see if the dialogue worked or if a sentence made sense, there was always Yogi, the perfect sounding board. When I took a writing break, cooked meals, watched TV, or exercised at home, there was always Yogi. Yogi began limping after an uneventful hike up Fryman Canyon. I took him to the vet, hoping he hadn't gotten another foxtail under his skin, which required a small surgery, resulting in the dreaded cone. The vet said because Yogi was 14, his joints were weakened, and he should take short walks and not hike. But Yogi loves sprinting up and down the canyons, I said. His breed was so sure-footed, a trait valuable in the mountains of Tibet. I pulled Yogi toward me on the high vet exam table and whispered in his ear, "I'm sorry, boy." His wise and knowing eyes looked back into mine. He cocked his head, understanding my tone, showing me how smart and emotional he was. As much of Yogi's black fur turned gray, Amber moved into her teen years and Molly into her tweens. Yogi became an even bigger fixture in their lives, a constant inspiration for in-class writing prompts. We noted Yogi was beginning to slow down, but gone was my impatience for taking care of a dog. I found myself in awe as the elder version of my little puppy turned into a sweet old man. He took everything in stride, grateful for any love and comfort he received. Senior Yogi felt more in tune with me than ever. We understood one another, using an unspoken language developed over their lifetime. Yogi's mannerisms and the way he tilted his head to consider something perplexing to him schooled me on how sensitive and truly intelligent he was. Although his health and appetite were less robust, he never stopped wagging his tail when the girls came home. He reminded me to slow down, to be present, and to be in the moment. Time stopped when he became immensely curious as a beautiful butterfly flitted by his path, a Yogi teaching if there ever was one. Yogi was 15 and a half when he fell into his water bowl. He wouldn't eat the fresh chicken and warm rice I made in hopes he'd get his strength back. To see him refuse food from my hand with pleading eyes felt like a stab through my heart. His maladies had sprung so quick, sucking his energy away. The vet said they could keep him overnight to do some tests, or we could wait and see. Todd and I feared if we left our boy at the vet to be prodded and poked, it would be torture. We didn't say it out loud, but we knew Yogi was rapidly declining. It was a warm Valley August morning when we moved Yogi's Costco bed into our open kitchen living room space so that he'd be in the middle of the house. Amber and Molly stayed home, and Todd took the day off of work. We sat on the floor around our boy, petting him. We told stories about how sweet, wild, wise, and funny he was, teetering between laughter and tears. Amber admitted she'd thought about his passing for the last few years, fearing it would happen while she was at sleepaway camp. She'd hope he'd be alive until she went off to college in 4 years. Amber only knew life with Yogi. She never wanted to live at home without him. Yogi tried to get up to comfort his sister, who he sensed was in pain, but his legs wouldn't hold him and he fell. Molly and I gasped while Todd reached out to steady Yogi, placing him gently back in the middle of the bed. Molly brought her guitar over and began to sing "I Hope You Had the Time of Your Life" by Green Day. Yogi tried getting up again, but couldn't. Between the touching lyrics, Molly's beautiful voice, and watching my boy suffer, I couldn't hold back my flow of tears any longer. Yogi's breath felt labored. Amber leaned in and told him how much she loved him. Through the pain we were all feeling, I understood what a rare gift Yogi was giving us. As sad as the moment was, it felt special to all be home together, to say our final farewell to our beloved master teacher. I thanked Yogi for helping me raise his sisters and for being the best big brother ever. When Yogi ate a bite of chicken from my hand, we were momentarily hopeful he could make a full recovery. But when Yogi began bleeding out where he shouldn't have been, Todd scooped him up. He'd drive his son wrapped in a blanket on his lap to the vet's office to do what was humane but was so incredibly difficult. Amber, Molly, and I stood, trailing Todd and saying one last goodbye. To see my man, who is as solid as they come on every level, cry, stabbed my heart again. I'd only seen Todd cry once at his best friend's father's funeral. To see Yogi's sisters cry shattered my heart even deeper. But I cried longer and harder than all of them. Tears of sadness because he wouldn't be by my side anymore, and tears of gratitude because Yogi taught us what unconditional love was. My furry master teacher showed me how spiritual animals are and how important it is for us to come out of our egocentric selves and to take notice of the beauty in nature. Days later, I posted an album of Yogi on Facebook and Instagram, my way to say a public farewell and to celebrate Yogi's magnificent life. Friends and family reached out, regaling us with stories and anecdotes about how loved our boy was. They comforted by saying Yogi was crossing over the rainbow bridge because all dogs go to heaven. A dear friend who had a special bond with Yogi presented us with a watercolor portrait. She'd skillfully captured Yogi's wise, sweet, and playful essence as he looked straight at you with a smile as he lay in the grass. The framed painting still sits on our floor, leaning against the wall in our living room where Yogi used to sleep. I'd tear up when I came home for months afterward because Yogi wasn't there to greet me. I always thought Amber and Molly or Todd would take his loss the hardest, but it was me, the non-dog person who didn't want the puppy, who felt his profound absence. I was left to write on my own, no silent sounding board to read to, no furball under my feet at all times. Amber was about to turn 16 and learning to drive. Molly was about to turn 13, the age when her friends are everything, and I was only important when she needed something. I wanted another dog. Todd reminded me to be patient. We agreed this time our new dog would be a rescue. It just had to be hypoallergenic. Anytime I walked by a dog, I'd ask if I could pet it, often hugging it and appreciating the lick I received in turn. I found myself watching videos of dogs on the internet, especially loving animal rescue stories. The narratives where an owner is the one who is saved by her dog always unleashed my waterworks. I began combing the internet, looking for a young dog that was about 2 years old but not a puppy. After visiting dog shelters, trying to rescue from an organization bringing Korean dogs to Los Angeles, and driving 40 miles to meet a cute rescue from a picture forwarded to me, the dogs either shed too much or Amber, Molly, or Todd gave me the thumbs down. When an adorable little black furball photo was sent to me by a friend, this time I didn't say really, I said yes. The puppy's mom was found pregnant on the streets and brought into the rescue organization Wags and Walks. The mom looked like a Chihuahua Jack Russell combo, and the dad had to have been a poodle mix. I couldn't get over how much she looked like puppy Yogi. I laughed because Yogi was a purebred whose father won dog show awards. But here, Teddy, she was a mixed breed, a mongrel with no pedigree, a true mutt. I showed Todd the photo of the little black furball on my computer screen, and he smiled and said, "Let's bring her home." I filled out an application online for the little puppy girl who had a white stripe down her belly. Because dog people are crazy, in a good way, the questionnaire felt like an interrogation from the FBI. Wags and Walks called. If we wanted to meet her, we all had to come in together to see if our family could make the cut. "We'll be there tomorrow," I said, counting down the minutes. I drove to West Los Angeles on a workday evening. Todd sat in the front passenger seat, and Amber and Molly were in the back. We all jumped out of the car, following the sign that said "Adoptions this way." We were taken to a room where a woman sat holding the puppy. She handed her to me with a knowing smile, one I was able to return, and we all agreed she was perfect. I drove home slower than normal. Amber and Molly took turns holding their new baby sister in the back seat. On the floor in our living room, we studied our new family dog, commenting on how ridiculously cute the 4-pound fur baby was. We named her Teddy, joking her rapper name was Teddy B, but her proper name was Theodora Bear. Like Yogi, who we sometimes called Yogi Bear, Teddy Bear was given the perfect name. After all, a teddy is a soft and snuggly toy bear who gives love and comfort, expecting nothing in return. Todd and I had just found out our best friend was taken to the hospital for a major health scare. He had a stroke in his mid-40s, and his life had been extremely threatened. The world's news felt foreboding as Putin stood side by side Trump. Innocent children were being forced to be separated from their despairing parents at our border. So many animals need to be rescued, and the growing homeless population in my wealthy suburban neighborhood, filled with mansions in the hills and young hipsters in the flats, was a sad and frustrating dichotomy. I was working on a creative project and facing rejection, par for the course of a writer, but hard nonetheless. And yet, our house was filled with visitors as our new addition brought levity and light. Teddy made everyone smile and laugh. She forced us to stop, to slow down, to sit on the floor, to play, and to be in the moment. Our new furry master teacher forced us to get out of ourselves and find the value in nature. Happiness radiated through me because I knew this time around our family dog was the best gift we could have ever been given. I wondered if maybe Yogi had sent her to me. I giggled while rubbing Teddy's white belly, which made her hind legs move. Just warning, I said to Todd, I'm going to be one of those crazy dog people, a middle-aged woman who brings her dog everywhere in a purse. He looked back with slight concern, forcing a smile. Teddy was immediately allowed on our beds and couches. I bought her a dog carrier you wear like a baby Bjorn and an airplane-certified dog carrier I'd use to take her in my car. She got a little bed to sleep next to me while I sit at my computer. Teddy's octagonal gate, I cannot say that word, fencing off a huge bed, had taken over the middle of the house. Her chew and plush toys are scattered everywhere. A huge crate sits in our master bedroom where she sleeps like an angel from 11 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. until she's potty trained. And then she'll sleep with me and Todd. I organized puppy playdates and our trips include her. I have no plans to get a dog lover bumper sticker or a paw print tattoo. All right, people, so here's the addendum. A year and a half later, after posting a furry master teacher, which again, just to remind you, was my first public sharing of any of my writing, Teddy's now a year and a half old, and my daughters are full-blown teenagers. I have a 17-year-old who's driving, and her sister, who's 14, is more social and more involved in activities in school than ever. So Teddy only grew to be 8 pounds and is seriously the softest and cutest little thing you've ever seen. Now that my daughters are even more independent, that unconditional crazy love I get from my little furry master teacher does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. And when friends and family come over, they always have to laugh when they see how I cradle Teddy in one arm like a baby and how she always wants to sit on my lap. Last night, I woke from a nightmare. Teddy was off leash and had run down a cliff. She ran along the beach with huge crashing waves approaching. I had to run above ahead to find a place to climb back down. Unable to see her, I yelled for Teddy, feeling the fear rise up in me as the shadow of a wave came overhead. I woke in the dark and swept my hand to feel Teddy's soft fur and warm belly. She lay across the bed the long way, in between Todd and me, pushing her 6'2" dad to the edge of the bed. I pulled her close to me and fell back asleep. So that's the update. And for all of you dog lovers, go give your dogs big hugs and kisses. And even for those of you who aren't crazy animal people, I would highly, highly, highly recommend getting a rescue dog. I wish you all lots of love or rescue cat, of course. I wish you all lots of love and happiness and good mental health. Thanks for listening. For pictures and links, check out the show notes. This is Rachel Steinman. For more information or to contact me with any questions, comments, or guest ideas, please check out rightnowrachel.com. That's right with a W. Thank you so much for listening, subscribing, and sharing, dear family. And if you found value in what you've just heard, I would love and so appreciate a great review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Until next time, I wish you love, happiness, and good mental health.